welcome to this week's Ask Charlie. We are up in the Lake District. We had a friend's birthday party last night, and Simon has very, very kindly agreed to join me this week and answer your questions. I asked them on Instagram and I asked them on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. So, darling, thanks for joining me.
No, absolute pleasure.
Right, I need to find the questions. That would be helpful, wouldn't it?
That's it. I rather foolishly agreed to join you without knowing what the questions are. But...
Yes, exactly. Yes, I haven't. I haven't.
Quite a lot of them.
There are quite a lot of them,
Yep.
but don't worry.
Right.
Right, let's go for it. Are you ready?
Am I meant to be looking at the camera or you?
Look at the camera.
Okay.
A bit of both.
Okay.
Does Simon cook for you? Do you cook for me?
Oh yeah.
What do you cook for me?
All sorts of things. Steak and chips.
You're very good at that.
Good at steak.
You're good at fish.
Not bad at fish.
You're very good on
I could
barbecue.
do a perfectly decent Sunday roast.
Yeah. He's very handy.
My
in the
scrambled
kitchen.
egg people travel across country
To eat your
to eat
scrambled
scrambled
egg.
egg.
Yeah.
with a bit of smoked salmon maybe.
The best.
Yeah, so yeah, I can.
You've just never made me your cucumber mousse.
No, I know.
He's been promising the cucumber
Yeah.
mousse
Yeah.
for 20 odd years, or telling me about his wonderful cucumber mousse.
Yeah, no, I'll
One
do
day
that.
You might rustle
I'll
that
do
up.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has Archie returned to Scotland for his A levels? No, we've got him home, haven't we?
We've got him home, which is lovely.
It's really lovely, and
Yeah.
it's great.
He wanted to be at home and we wanted him back
Yeah.
at home. And it's just
Yeah,
kind of
it's worked brilliantly. It's lovely. He did really well up there. He got great GCSE results, and now it's lovely that he's home. How did Simon lose weight? He looks amazing. Any tips would be gratefully appreciated.
Well, it's very kind of you to say that I look amazing. I didn't. I'm not sure about that. But so I actually, having sort of battled with weight, and without making this too long an answer, but if you look at like a 20-year period, it's very easy to put on a kilo a year. 2 pounds. And if you said, "Somebody, look, I'm going to put 2 pounds on a year," you think, actually, okay, I can live with that. But then when you suddenly add those years up, you're suddenly talking about 20, 30 kilos too heavy.
Yeah.
And so I'd sort of permanently been not on sort of crash diets, but sort of, I suppose, a little battling. And then the sort of new medications came out, like Mounjaro, which is the one that I'm on. And, speaking
Simon started in October last year.
So I'm sort of winding the dose down at the moment. But,
You're not going to stay on it, are you?
No, I don't want to. I mean, there are tools in the cupboard. And I think this is definitely a tool, but I don't think you want it.
It's been really good at kick-starting your weight loss.
Yeah,
It's been, I think, it's been great.
Yeah, because, to be honest, you kind of, you can get a good week in and you get on the scales at the end of the week and you say, actually, I've lost 3 pounds or whatever, and that's great. And then all you need to do is go off for a weekend or go out for dinner or something like that. And for me, it just went straight back on again. So it was kind of like I get a good few days in, and then it literally went back on over a night almost.
Yeah. But you're exercising.
Yeah, I am. I need to do a bit more in that area.
And you're being really careful about what you eat.
Yeah, I think.
So the cooked breakfasts have gone.
Yes.
The white bread has gone.
Yes. Fried bread, definitely gone.
Definitely gone.
Great loss.
Fish and chips, I think you've probably had once.
Once. And funny enough, with this sort of medication, that food just doesn't agree with you. You actually physically don't really want it. And if you do sort of go off piste and have something like that, it's just, you don't feel great. And you think, oh, why the hell did I do that?
Yeah. So I think it's been really, really great.
Yeah, no, I think so. Look, I mean...
But with exercise
Yeah.
and with being really mindful about what you're eating,
Yeah.
you've done really well.
And I think there are new medications coming out and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Interested in your health habits, like what you eat in a day. I'm not a big fan of what I eat in a day. I don't like those videos. I think everybody is different, and I don't think, I am really active. I walk, I do the horses, I'm constantly on the go, buzzing around, aren't I? So it's, for somebody that has an office job, it's different. And so I don't think those are particularly healthy. I think it's about avoiding ultra-processed food, avoiding fatty food, and eating a really good balanced diet. And I think it's really important to eat seasonal produce as much as possible. Yes. Who was your first YouTuber that you watched, and any other recommendations from Mrs. Godfrey? I think probably my first YouTuber I watched was Josie, Charlie and Josie, who live in the Cotswolds. I think she was the first YouTuber. I was very late to the party because we had such bad internet at home. I couldn't really watch it. And to be honest, I don't have much time to sit down and watch other YouTubers because constantly busy, aren't I? But yeah,
To say the least.
to say the least. I occasionally watch Lydia's videos, but I don't tend to watch many others. What are some staples you always ensure you have in your fridge and cupboard?
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Staples. Well, I think you always need a bit of ham and cheese. Because, if you run out of everything, at least you can make a ham and cheese sandwich. We just talk about not having right bread. But anyway, particularly for the kids.
Well, we have sourdough now.
Yeah, sourdough, absolutely.
We always have Greek yogurt.
No, I mean, definitely milk, obviously. And some salad things, some, lettuces and tomatoes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe pasta, I think you tend to have in the fridge, don't you?
I have fresh pasta in the fridge. Yeah. And Greek yogurt. In the freezer, I have berries. And then in the larder, rice, pastas, tins of tomatoes.
I like to have tins of tuna and tins of sardines.
Yeah, you love that.
Yeah.
And
sardines on toast, I love.
In olive oil.
Yeah, the tuna and olive oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet corn.
Yeah.
Those sorts of things, really.
Yeah. So, pretty boring and pretty standard. Can you talk more on healthy eating and natural whole foods? I think, again, I've got this amazing app, which I will leave linked in the description of this video. That's been a real eye-opener. What you think it might be a healthy meal actually necessarily isn't. So it is cooking from scratch as much as possible. And we do a lot of that, don't we?
Yes. I did notice, though...
What?
that you did have this app, which you were scanning, which was telling you, didn't you, what was good and what wasn't so good to eat. But I did notice that when the bars of chocolate came out, the app tend not to be used quite so much. So it can be a bit selective.
That was when I was tracking my food.
Oh, I see. Okay, right. Okay. Yeah, tracking everything you eat apart from the chocolate.
Yeah.
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 Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But I actually,
I'm
have you noticed I'm easing off the chocolate? I'm trying not to eat so much chocolate. How do you manage calories to stay a healthy weight while cooking such rich foods? We've only got one microphone.
I think that's one for you, really.
I tend to not cook really rich foods. Do I? We have the occasional pudding. Occasionally, maybe once or twice a month, I might put cream in, like a chicken dish or something. But
no, you don't use a lot of cream.
I don't use a lot of butter. And what was really interesting, actually, I've just been at a cookery school. Wow, that their cooking is on a totally different level. And it made me realise, actually, I think my cooking is pretty healthy. I don't track calories. You haven't tracked calories. It's just about eating a good balanced diet and getting enough exercise, getting up and walking, and, getting your steps in, actually, I think is really important. Has Simon always been into horses like you, and does he muck out and ride and turn out?
Well, actually, you know what? To be honest, I've never really been into horses. But I'm very happy that we are as a family. Well, you and Coco. I don't ride. I think I probably
You
can.
have ridden with
I
me a
have
few
ridden,
times.
and I'm happy to do a bit of mucking out.
Yeah.
Actually, I quite enjoy it.
And
Really,
you'll lead a horse.
I'll lead a horse.
And
Yeah,
you'll hold
I'm always
a
a
horse.
little. I'm sort of
Little
fairly
wary.
a little wary.
Yeah,
I
but
get a funny
he's
look from them
brilliant.
and can make me a little bit.
Simon wouldn't tack up, but you'd
I think I probably
assist.
could now, actually.
You probably could.
Yeah.
He'll do girths. You'll put a head collar on.
Yeah. I'll do that for the horse too.
He's very, very helpful. He's great. How do you keep your house from smelling of dogs?
Well, actually, one of the things we do is actually keep them in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So we've got like a snug teddy room where they can come in there in an evening and they've got a bed. But generally, we don't let them run around all over the house.
Yeah, we did at our old house. Well, the Labradors didn't come upstairs, but the little dogs did come upstairs. And then, in those days, we had 4 little dogs. We had Tess and Maud and Penny and Florence, and they came upstairs and they, would get on an armchair, they'd get on the beds. But we decided when we moved to our new house that we weren't going to have the dogs running all over the house. And actually, it's worked really well.
Particularly with the little dogs, you find yourself sitting on the sofa and their personal hygiene sometimes wasn't quite as it could be. And you thought, what's that funny smell? And then suddenly you look around and see something not very pleasant. So we kind of knocked that on the head, didn't we, really?
So they've got their beds in the kitchen and they tend to be in there, they'll come into the snug when they're clean, i.e. not being out for a walk and then jumping on the sofa when they're wet and dirty. And then I was just constantly washing the sofa covers, throws, things like that. And it was just got ridiculous. So actually, it works really well.
Yeah.
How do you keep the love alive in a marriage with 2 children under 2 years old? So you've got to remember back to when ours were tiny. Can you remember?
Yes.
What did we do?
Sense of humour.
Sense of humour, yes.
Get as much sleep in as you can.
Get as much sleep in as you can and have a sense of humour. But
and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. We did... we were strict with bedtime with the children.
Yeah.
So they went to bed at 7, which meant that we could have an evening together, which was really important. Yeah. And we also used to go away once or twice a year together, just for a night. Do you remember we used to go to Bailiff's Court when they were tiny, which was, 45 minutes down the road from us. Yeah. So it meant if there was a problem, we could get back PDQ and we weren't wasting time travelling somewhere. We had, I think once or twice a year we used to go for a night, and it was really lovely.
I mean, to be honest, we weren't fortunate enough in as much as my parents are no longer around. Your mum was down in Devon, your father up in Northamptonshire. So, we didn't really have any grandparents that we could leave them with. So, we had to fork out to have a bit of help to, so that we could get that time out, which was really important, actually.
Yeah, it's really important. But I think bedtime and then having a bit of time in the evening together, I think is really important. Yeah. Did you get new rings as part of your wedding celebrations? No. We didn't do anything new, but we had a wonderful day. We didn't feel the need to do anything like that. We just celebrated our love and had a wonderful day. But no, there was nothing new, but a very special, happy day. And I love my rings. I don't need to change them. They are there. I love them as much as I did all those years ago. So we didn't need anything new.
And I love you as much as I...
Oh. Oh, darling. When the children were younger, how did you decide on what extracurricular things to do?
What sort of
Activities
what?
like swimming, judo, tennis,
Yeah,
cricket, golf.
it's it's an interesting question, that, because there is just so much. And I think what we try to do within reason is to introduce them to as much as we possibly could. And then they started to perhaps be more selective about what they actually wanted to do.
Yeah.
But you just can't do it all. And I've seen it, with parents, and we were in the situation where we were literally running around the whole weekend or whatever, going from this club to that club and then that club in the evening and something else, and just being run ragged, really, because there's so much more. I mean, in my day, parents didn't do that. You kind of, you were sort of,
Yeah.
they just didn't do all that running around and stuff, and it wouldn't have occurred to them. So,
No.
yeah.
I think it's a good idea to introduce your children to lots of different things and see if there's one thing that they really love and are passionate about. Like the boys love their sport.
Yeah, and they both rode, and they both pulled away from it.
Yeah, they both. Yeah, exactly. And the boys, I just didn't push them. Maybe I did a little bit, encourage them. But then as soon as they were kind of not keen, I just didn't. I think I said, oh, well, you've got to muck out and you've got to clean tack. When they refused to do that, I was like, well, we're not going to bother. Whereas Coco's always been really passionate. But the boys love their sport. Archie really loves his surfing. Gus likes surfing, but he's not that bothered. But Gus loves football and cricket and airsoft. He really loves airsoft, which Archie doesn't. And it's just, it's finding things that they're really passionate about and encouraging that. I think anything to get them out busy and not gaming.
Yeah.
That is really important. This is a great question for you, darling. How soon after meeting Charlie did you know that she was the one? That's from Caroline in the garden.
Immediately. Really.
Before we even had a date.
Pretty much. Yeah.
We got to know one another on the phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you knew immediately, didn't you? Simon proposed to me quite quickly.
And I was meant, because your mum was very keen that we have a sort of a 12-month period. I suspect she was thinking about a cooling off period, but that because of our age difference and everything, that she thought that it would be good for just to have a little bit of time to to think it all through. But it didn't change things in any way. And
I think when you know. And I knew that you were the right one, very early on. Our first date was amazing. I knew then that there was something pretty special. Well. Me too. It was very, very special. How to decide when is the best time to start a family?
Well, I have my thoughts on that, really.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's kind of like, I think it's, if you sort of think about it, really, there's, in many ways, there's never a good time because you're too busy or you don't think you've got enough money to support having children, or, so there's always a reason to put things off. But the reality is that you're actually not really in control of what happens. And so I've seen instances where people have, understandably tried to finesse exactly the time they want the family, and it's been quite a struggle to when they've actually wanted to push the button. So I think kind of just,
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
I think it's really important not to overthink it and not to wait too long, because I had blood tests after we had Gus when I was probably 31, and my hormones had dropped right off, and my gynecologist said, have you had your family? Because I think if you're thinking of having any more children, it might prove tricky now. And we had fertility problems to have our first, and then it all happened. I had acupuncture actually in the end that worked really well for us. But
And McDonald's.
And McDonald's, yes. So my doctor told me to stop exercising, to eat more, to chill out about the whole thing, because it was all consuming. I'd been taking a fertility drug for a year and it wasn't working and it was really stressful. And yeah, I think I just chilled out. He said, eat lots, don't exercise.
But I think you're right, you can.
And then we were about to probably start having IVF.
Yeah.
And I was, how old was I then? 26, 27. I was told when I was 20 it might be difficult to have children because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and my hormones were all over the place. Anyhow, don't overthink it.
Overthink it, that's what,
and don't wait too long. How to ensure a strong family unit?
How to ensure a strong... Well, I suppose, I mean, you can only just kind of try to do your best, really. I mean, it's all about time. It's obviously all about love.
Yeah.
It's kindness. We try and, we certainly did when the children were younger, how important that is to each other.
Yeah.
But,
communication, talking to one another and to the family, sitting down at the table and eating meals together, I think is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Top tips on how to get more energy each day. I think exercise. I think the fitter you are, the more energy you have. That definitely I am aware of that. If you could give your 20-year-old self a piece of advice, what would it be and why? To relax, to chill out, to not overthink about it. People are too busy with their lives to worry about what you look like, what you're wearing. They won't remember. I know I was really self-conscious and I was a real worrier and I wish I hadn't have been. What would you...
No, I think worry less. Big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, I was told years ago something which never really occurred to me is 99.99% of the things that you worry about never happen.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so, of course one forgets that all the time, but, the worrying less.
Yeah, definitely. So the final question is, how is Molly? And actually, we spoke to Josh when we were driving up yesterday, and he's really pleased with how Molly is doing. She is walking for 10 minutes a day at the moment in hand, and, we will see. She'll be reassessed in about a month's time, and we will see how she copes with that, and, how she is in trot. But she's very happy in herself. She's doing well. And I think it was really the right decision to move her to Josh's because she's calm, stable.
And
she's got routine. She's got friends around her. She can go out in the turnout pen for short periods of time. And so it's good. And it was really nice. Josh is so lovely and he keeps in really close touch. And I'm going to go and see her next week. So she is doing well. So thank you for asking. But a huge thank you to you, my darling, for joining me. And thank you to all of you for asking your questions. I hope I've answered your questions. I know there were some on YouTube, there were some on Instagram, so I've kind of gone through and tried to get them all together. But thank you, my love. And we are going to hit the road. In fact, we've got some friends who live around the corner, so we're going to go and pop in, you'll have a coffee, I'll have a cup of tea, and then we'll hit the road and head back down south. But thank you all very much for tuning in this week. Thank you, my love, and look forward to seeing you on Friday with this week's vlog.